I guess I'm live. I guess I should tell people what's going on. Hey, I'm Louis Porter Jr., and you're watching Transparency Agenda Daily. Uh, this is an interesting show. I haven't done one in a while. Um, I've got both my YouTube and my Facebook running live, so if you're a fan of either way, you can watch both of these so you can see what's going on, what I'm talking about. I know a lot of you have been like, hey, where'd you been? What's going on? What's happening? Da, da, da. So a lot of things have been happening. A lot of things way, way, way behind the scenes of what's going on. No, that's interesting. Let me tell you what's going on. So for the last, God, has it been 6 months? Yeah, it has been. For the last 6 months, I've been doing some research. I use a lot of quotes, air quotes, research. A lot of you know that I was working on a project that I would call Black House. Black House was going to be my serious foray into real estate. And there have been some issues with that. I've gone through some stuff. So let me put it all in perspective so you can all understand what's going on and what's going to happen going forward. So I've been working on trying to get more and more into real estate. The reason being for really, it's twofold, but really the main purpose always been is to provide more income for myself, for Lucas, for college. Lucas is 8. I am a single parent. I have to, fend other stuff by myself. And, living in the house we live in, we bought this house when I was married and when there was 2 incomes coming in. And then after Carla passed away, there was 4 of us living here, my mother-in-law included. There's 4 people and 2 incomes. This house is a perfect place at that, not a problem. Then when my wife passed away, my parents moved in for a little bit to help out what's going on. And that got it to a point where there's 5 people living here with really only 1 income, mine, and me carrying a lot of the burden on the stuff. So I knew long term that wasn't going to work for me. My parents moved out, a couple years back, of course. They found their own place. And my mother-in-law still stayed with us until recently, where my mother-in-law, this is back in, I think, August. It might have been August, September. My mother-in-law went back to Trinidad. That's where she was born and raised. She's been here for 30 years when my wife was here, but she decided to move back. So she's moved back, and it's just been me and Lucas in this big old house. And don't get me wrong, I love my house. It's a great house. It's amazing. And I'm not leaving this house. Some people are like, what? You're going to leave the house? No, I'm not leaving my house. I love it. I live in a great city. The schools are perfect. I couldn't have asked for better schools for Lucas. With everything going on with him and his cerebral palsy and the porencephaly and the whole eyes thing, they've been amazingly great. I couldn't ask for a better school. But with all that going on, I knew long term my one salary would not be enough to keep this house, our lifestyle, his medical issues, my getting older issues. I'm just be honest. So I had to think about what can I do long term to really help me out in the long run. So like a year back, I said, let me start looking at, well, probably a little more than a year now. Let me start looking at ways at buying investment property to buy and use that to help generate income. So I did some research on it. I've done some books. I've gone to some stuff. And I found a way that looks very, very possible, very, very decent way to go about it. And the first time we tried it, roughly about a year and a half ago, I did a lot of dumb things. I learned a lot of things very quickly. I think when you pay for it out of your own pocket, you learn very quickly, money-wise. And that being, I learned a lot, and I stopped. I said, "Oh, let me stop. Let me go back. Let me see what I'm doing wrong. Let me see what I'm doing right. Let me pick up some better stuff." And what happened over, I guess, starting May, I started up again. I looked into more places and stuff like that. And I made a couple offers on places. And a lot of issues fell apart. I mean, some things were like this was going to happen. And oh, no, it couldn't happen because the HOA couldn't afford this. And this couldn't happen. And no, this thing didn't appraise right. So I got another lesson on how the home industry makes money. And it was at the cost of me giving them money. But once again, like I said, these are things that got me smarter and I learned more. So it was good for me in the long run. Roughly about 2 months ago, I found a location, roughly about an hour from where I live in Riviera Beach, which I found a piece of property that I liked. The price was somewhat reasonable. I went in and offered the guys about like $12,000 less than they were asking, and they took it, and then that was kind of great. So I'm like, okay, great. So I have this property. It's a 2 bedroom, 1 bath, and on Tuesday, this Tuesday coming up, I'm gonna be signing my paperwork. So officially, it will be mine. I'm paying them the money tomorrow to get some stuff through, and on Tuesday we finish signing the paperwork, and it'll be my place. And this place I am using as an investment property. It generates income from me. We'll have people rent it out. I have a property manager involved with it. And this stuff is just stuff I had planned to do. I'd always planned to do this. Probably, I could say I've always known that I'd have to get another source of income, even before my wife passed away. Back in like 2000, I think like 2002. If you'll be realistic about it, because at that point, back in 2002, I was able to quadruple my sales and then quadruple them the following year. So I went from 100 to 400 to 600. Sorry, 1600. I've talked about this a lot, and you all know this. And I paid for my car, paying for my PDFs. I've said that, for years, and that's something that's definitely happened. So now I'm looking at doing the same thing with this house. The money I got to get this house, some of it was out of my own personal savings, and then some of it was actually from the business. My business putting away money that I'd earned from projects that were created and stuff we paid out to paid our money out to people, and people were buying our stuff, and we got a lot of support. So that was going on. I was like, okay, let me think about what I want to do in producing products and what stuff do I want to like slow down on, because it's like it's not good. This stuff's not selling. Certain things were not selling. So I said, let me just stop doing that. And we kind of went with that. We kind of got where we are. So I've been saving up money, for the direct purpose to help pay for this new home. And for myself, I think it's the smarter long-term goal in my bigger plans. This is technically step two. Step one was getting the PDF business up and running, generating money. Step two, start buying houses. And there's a step three, there's step four, and step five. The advantage with this that we're doing now, I'm hoping to accelerate the process even more so. So what that really means project-wise. So I know a lot of you know that we've been putting out products for 5e. The reason being is I really just came down to it, and it kind of hit me a while back, and I just said, I don't understand why I'm just making products for Pathfinder. And this was more the sense of when Pathfinder, the new playtest came out, and I'm just like, I'm looking at this business incorrectly. I've always attached the things I made to the systems that they played. So like when it did this, when you're doing 5e, it was this and this, and I said that's not the right way to look at it. I have to look at it differently. We're not making products for 5e. We're making products for Neo Exodus. And Neo Exodus is making products that just happens to have games in 5e, and we happen to have games in Pathfinder. And we'll support those systems, but then we're not going to be beholden to either one. The main focus that we should be beholden to is building our IP and making cooler things that you would enjoy. Books and things like that. And even doing the fiction line that people were like, why'd you do the fiction line? Because I wanted to understand how the process worked. I wanted to see, what it took. And you know what? It does take a lot. It takes a lot to do it right. And even us doing it wrong, we've learned a lot from it. I think that was the best investment. I think understanding, what people want to see is important. I also understand that if I was going to be doing this again, which I probably will likely be doing, I'm going to be doing it a different way to help generate more sales and also take a lot of stress off me as the publisher for just producing money. And it goes back to another piece of this, generating money. A lot of people get into the role-playing game business to have fun and that kind of stuff. And I've talked about from the perspective of, look, we generate money here. This is a business. There's people who have to pay. There's guys who write for me. They get paid on a regular basis because they write for me. I can't look at this as being it's just whatever. It's lost money away. It's no big deal. No, every cent that I spend on this is money that I'm not spending on Lucas. I'm not spending on my house. I'm not spending on potentially good ideas. So if I'm going to be spending money in this, we're going to be doing it right. With that being said, I keep saying we, but it's me, but we have focused on trying to do different things in the long term. One of the big things that we've done lately is, our Infinite Space. That's for Pathfinder's Starfinder brand, and it's science fiction. Well, science fantasy, but I still call it science fiction. There's some stuff that I think is cool, and I'm letting my guys who are good at it do cool stuff. Neo Exodus. We actually have 5 now. I think we have 5 monthly things we're doing. I'm doing with Jeff Lee. I haven't released any of them yet. I'm probably not going to release them till Christmas-ish. and maybe release them in a weekly thing. I don't know, but I know that we're going to start doing things completely different than we had. We're going to be looking at ways to expand ourselves into areas that we normally weren't in and haven't been in. So expect to see kind of difference of that. That also ties into the long-term stuff that I'm doing with Black House. This is my first property I'm buying. The way I have it planned is that we're going to buy a property 2008, 2009, 2020, and then beyond that, we're going to buy 3 houses in 2021 and then 5 houses in 2022. That's how I'm working it. And understanding the process of how to buy more property has been incredibly valuable. Just the stuff you learn, the stuff you just don't know, the things you assume that are not right in this whole process. So this is what we're going to be looking to do. So you can expect to see, continued products come out from me. I'm not going to stop making stuff for Lewisburg Design. I'm going to start doing more things that I want to do specifically and attach people's engine to it. But the IP itself will be our stuff. Even including, I've been debating, because this is something I've noticed from having done Pathfinder. Building iconics for a setting is kind of like standard, and that helps build the ideas what you're building in the world. So I kept saying, should we do iconics for Infinite Space? And I keep saying, yes, I think we will, but I have not gotten up to it. That's my problem. So you can expect to see that coming out too. I'm also even debating about not really inventing, but creating a open third party campaign setting. 100% open. I'm gonna have maybe some stuff inspired from Neo Exodus. Maybe I'm still debating, but this is gonna be like, I'm probably gonna make it open to the point of it's not just, oh, you've got open content you can use. I might even open up the artwork we create for it, so you can use it in your products too. A 100% open world and just make some cool stuff. I think that might be more fun to do. I think a lot of people would like that. I'm not going to put a lot of the restrictions that I know would be like, oh, you can't do this. No, we're going to try to keep it open to be open. Let's be creative. I mean, the thing we're going to definitely do are do the iconics. They'll be open. We'll make everything, generic-ish, but it won't be that generic. You know me, I can't do plain generic stuff. Plus, I want to do some races that I've not seen yet. Yeah, just give them away. I don't care. Like I said, I'm giving it away anyway. Like one of the races, and this is just me. This is my personal love. I'm a big fan of Legion of Superheroes. Always have been. And the character Wildfire is one of my favorite superheroes. I like the idea. The concept looks well. And, energy-based life forms. I would have something like that where they'd have a metal suit. They get into it and get empowered and do that kind of thing. The other side, I would do like the later versions of Wildfire as the first run when not Steve Geffen. Good Lord, I can't think of writing it now. I see the artwork that Steve Lytle did the artwork for, where they ended at it like Quizlet, where Wildfire built his own body out of pure energy. Same race, energy-based being that has to use a suit, energy-based being that's really old that can build its own self. I think those are kind of cool races you could put into a Starfinder universe. I also want to add more science fiction things. I want to look at other people's stuff they've done that I can bring in that I think is like open content. And maybe we change it. I'd like the stat blocks might be open, and then just use different concepts we can pull from stuff. There's so much stuff available scientific wise. There's so many creative people that I want to make as much open content stuff that people can use and get it out there and play stuff. And don't get me wrong, of course I want to do adventures. Michael McCarthy has done so many cool adventures for me. I'm a big fan of the work he's done. I think we've pushed some stuff that we didn't do the ways we should have. And, I take full responsibility for that. But at the same time, I think we've done a really amazing different things. So I want to try even more cooler things. I think that's the thing. I want to just keep trying cooler things and just try it out. What do we got to lose? I mean, let's have some fun. Let's be creative. Let's do what we've always done. So that's where we are with this. Like I said, Black House is definitely something that I'm doing now. I expect to see more stuff from Black House. I'll probably talk, about this whole Black House property stuff over and over. I'm sure a lot of you will be bored, but I think there's a book near me. Book's not near me. Oh yeah, it is. If you're interested about real estate in general and you want to get some good stuff, this book has been fantastic for me. The Book of Rental Property Investment. You can see I've highlighted this one to death. A lot of great stuff. A lot of great stuff that helped me got my new investment place. And a lot of you are like, well, I don't know if I can afford a house. There's some ideas in here that will blow your mind to think about, getting a house. The BRRRR strategy was one of the strategies they call in here. BRRRR, yeah, it stands at it's BRRRR. BRRRR, get it? It stands for buy, rehab, rent out, refinance, and repeat. And it's really just amazing. And basically I just told you right there, it's the whole system. It's nothing super amazing, but Brandon Turner, who's the one who wrote this book, this is a great book. If you have a chance, pick this book up. He also has a sequel. Now, since I've read this book and I've gotten pretty good with this, of course I get the second book, the other part, managing rental properties, because that's where I am right now. Is got to manage this property and how am I going to earn money on this and all that stuff. And learning from these books has been really, really cool, and the information they've been giving. So if you are in this industry and you're always like, well, why can't I get a house and why can't I do stuff? And I think that's the biggest problem we're having is that we're not thinking about our future like that. I think we need to, as not just fans of this, we got to think long term. How can we be successful? How can we expand ourselves? How can we, get that life we wanted? And it's not as complicated as I thought it was, but it's not as easy as I thought it was either. Don't get me wrong. But I think it's accomplishable. I mean, in a few days, I will have 2 homes, and I'm nothing special. I don't think I'm super creative. I don't think I'm the smartest guy out there, but I'm willing to take some risks, take some calculated risks, not just generic risks, some calculated risks, and understand there's going to be some loss and set myself up for that. I mean, set myself up for the losses I'm going to have. We're going to have losses, but you're also going to learn from them. And with that, I think you can help yourself out in the long run and do great stuff. So, this is where I am with that. So don't think I was going to come up here like, oh, I'm quitting. No, I'm not quitting. I'm still going to put out material. I'm probably not going to do Kickstarters for a while. I have not been happy with Kickstarters in the sense of, I mean, I've heard so a lot of people have gone belly up and some people have not been doing what they're supposed to. So I'm kind of avoiding that. I just want to focus on doing awesome stuff, releasing it and putting it out there. And of course, we've been doing small products, small stuff. I'm hoping to do maybe larger stuff. But like I said, right now, we're going to stick to our formula that works. We're going to keep releasing products from Infinite Space. We're probably going to start doing some more 50 stuff for New Exodus. We got a lot of stuff we still got to do. We got to do our weapons in there. We got to include all of our monsters and then all of our VIPs. So you're going to see more of that stuff coming out. Mark Hart, who's been doing a lot of writing on that. Well, not a lot of writing, but all the writing on that has been really great. So he's been converting that. And, I'm not trying to drive him crazy about, you got to get this stuff. No, we're going to keep it very low key. We're going to keep it very cool. We're going to keep everything happy. And we're going to keep it moving. So that's really going to be it. So for everybody out there, I just want to take this time out just to tell people that, hey man, just because I'm quiet doesn't mean I'm going to be getting out of this industry. All it just means is that I've got other stuff I'm staging on to do other stuff. And if things work out right, I'm hoping maybe let me be honest. Maybe in 9 more months, I'll be able to announce to you like, hey, I got another property I'm coming out with. So you can see that, the money that we use for we're making on PDFs. We're using it for more than just hanging out and buying sodas that people think, oh, you don't make any money doing this. Yeah. Okay. They keep telling me that. Oh, you can't make any money doing PDFs, but I've been doing it as long as I have. I seem to keep making money. Do I know what I'm talking about? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but if I'm wrong, I'm getting a second house on my wrongness. So maybe I am pretty wrong. I don't know. If you think back, if you told me in 2002, I'd be still doing this in 2018, and this time using money to buy a house, I'd say, oh, you're crazy. What are you talking about? I didn't even have a house then. But now, yeah, I think it's possible. I think a lot of people are even in a better place than they ever thought. And even the crazier part, I didn't mention this, I think we're going to start doing even more like print-on-demand books. It doesn't hurt us in the long run. It's just something I got to set up and do. It just takes time in my life to do, but if I do, we'll help sell more. And the more we sell, the more money we make. The more money we make, the more cool things we can buy. The more cool things we can buy, houses, more real estate. Like the man says, always buy real estate. They're not making any more of it. So that's been my thing. All right. So thank you all so much for watching. I'm sure some of you were like, geez, I didn't expect it this long. That was kind of crazy and stuff. But I'm probably not gonna do my walks anymore. I've been walking, still been walking at work. I'm still got my weight down. The last time I checked was 208, but I should check tonight. So I'm probably maybe 210, but I don't think I'm higher than that. I've been pretty good on my weight. So if you've been wondering, and also just tiring talking by yourself. Even like right now, talking to myself is tiring. So if I try to do any more of these, maybe I'll do more interview style or people I can talk to, and it won't always be gaming related stuff. Sometimes it'll be business related stuff. Sometimes it'll be real estate stuff. I want to start, even comic book related stuff because the money I make from this step 2, your step 3. You can guess what step 3 is. So there you go. I'm on my second step. I'm doing pretty well. I'm just hoping I can move faster at it. All right, that's it. I'm getting out of here. You all have a lovely weekend. I'll probably talk to you on Tuesday with pictures. Or actually, who am I kidding? I'll probably show up on Sunday with pictures. I have to go check out the house for the last walkthrough and make sure everything's cool. I'll take a bunch of pictures and put them online so you can all see the house that I have. And if you know anyone near Riviera Beach who's looking for a nice 2-1 to move into, I have a place that's quite nice, and it's for reasonable rent. Just give me an email, and I guess I'll let you all know. You all have a good weekend, and if I see you either Monday, Tuesday, or Sunday, I'll let you know. All right. Talk to you all later.